This is going to be quick because there's a lot of things that we want to cover, and we can definitely go into more detail later, or if you have questions, we can go over that. But this is just going to kind of be, we're taking a topic that's this big and we're trying to make it this big for you. So when we talk about gut health, ideally, it's all of your organs functioning together, like your esophagus, your intestines, your stomach. They all should work together to allow us to eat and digest foods without any discomfort. But unfortunately, there's around 70 million Americans with some sort of gut dysfunction. And a healthy gut is important because it delivers nutrients to the bloodstream. It wards off infections. It's the house of your immune system. It produces hormones. It communicates with your brain through nerves and hormones. So it's really, really important to take care of your gut. And like I said, a huge portion of our immune system is in our gut. And when we don't take care of our bodies, it can lead to leaky gut, which is basically cracks or holes in the over 4,000 square feet of your, it's like surface area of your intestines. And when those cracks or holes form, it can allow things out and it can allow things in. So when it has a crack, it can allow partially digested food out, and it can allow toxins, bugs, and other things that trigger inflammation out or into your intestines. And that can catalyze into chronic disease. It can exacerbate chronic disease. It's just not a good thing to have a leaky gut. And there are a few different causes for this. There's a small portion of DNA and genetics which play a role, but there's a larger thing that controls what happens with our gut, which is our environment and what we eat and how we, act every day. So stress plays a huge role. If you're very stressed, you're a type A person, and you're constantly in that fight or flight, your gut is going to suffer for that, as well as if you're not eating the correct foods. So the problem with the American diet is it is extremely low in fiber and very high in sugar, dairy, and saturated fats. And those are all causes for inflammation. And before I move on to what we can do, I really want to hear from Jen. She wants to talk about the gut-brain connection and how it leads to mental health disorders too.
Hello, so I'm Jennifer, and I am a huge advocate for mental health. So I really wanted to talk about this because this is something that is still being, fully studied. Like, mental health is just such a gray area, and they're just slowly learning more and more. And one huge thing that a lot of people are studying is the gut-brain axis. So how the gut and the brain almost are like connected, like Heather was saying, and the gut is actually considered like the second brain. And why it's considered this is because 90% 90% of your serotonin, which is your like happy hormone neurotransmitter, it regulates like it helps with your mood, your feelings, your sleep, your digestion. That 90% of it is produced in your intestines. So it's huge, especially if you're dealing with mental health problems, to really focus on your gut. This is not something I am perfect at, especially when it comes to food, but I definitely try my best. So, how, like, an example of this is when I have anxiety and I feel anxious, I get a really bad upset stomach. I call it the anxious poops. And I just, I can't help it. It's just like that brain gut connection. A lot of people get nauseous. That's the where butterflies comes from when you get nervous, and other things. Or even when you're depressed, you lose your sense of appetite, and or you can go to all like the comfort foods, things like that. Or you can look at it the other way, and also if you have like a gut problem going on, like IBS or the celiac disease, or leaky gut, things like that, that can cause you to deal with depression and anxiety as well, and pain. And deal with it, have problems that way too. So I have the celiac disease, which is the little villi hairs in your intestines that absorbs all of your nutrients from your food and stuff. When you have celiac disease, instead of the villi being up like this, they're like this, and they're not absorbing nutrients and things from the food and stuff like that. And so that can play a huge role in, your mental health as well. So repairing my gut is huge. And I am just so interested to see like how it all correlates. But that's a little bit about the gut brain axis. And if you have any more questions, let me know.
Thank you. That's like such a vicious cycle too, because I feel like if you're not absorbing nutrients, you're not going to be mentally okay. And if you're not mentally okay, you're not eating the right foods. It's just like, ugh, never
Exactly,
ending.
because like not absorbing the right nutrients, if your gut lining is not the best that it can be, like I was really, really low in iron. And when you're low in iron and anemic, it makes you very tired and
Heat,
lethargic.
yes.
So it's just like
Mhm.
this vicious
Feeds
cycle.
into it. Ugh. Okay. So before we jump into what you can do, I also wanted to hear from Amber because she has an amazing testimony that she wants to share.
Hey, so my name is Amber, and I wanted to talk to you guys about. I had been diagnosed with ulcers as far back as when I was 7 years old. So I struggled with these for years and years. They would clear up, they would get a little better, and then they would come back. It was again like a vicious cycle. It was repetitive, and sometimes it would seem like stress would cause it, or food, or whatever. I had been on several different medications. Zantac, which you now see in the news, has like all of these lawsuits and everything, was one of the things they put me on when I was 7. And I got off of it for a long time. And then I got older. They put me back on that along with some other prescription drugs. And even though it seemed to have like temporary, like I would feel better for a little while, it was never going away. It was never taking care of the root cause. So when I started using Young Living products, I just started with the oils originally. And the first thing that I did was Digize because that was in my starter kit. And it was the one that everybody talked about for digestion. So I started out using it topically because I didn't really know too much about taking them internally yet. And even doing that made like such a difference. And I was still not quite ready to give up my prescription yet. But as time went on and I started using more of the supplements that we have, and that I was doing some diet changes too. I've cut out a lot of dairy and gluten, and that's been huge. But doing all of that together has, I've not been on medicine for like 2 years. And so I'll share with you guys the regimen that I do now. Oh yeah, Heather, I wish I had that when I was pregnant. Oh my gosh. So these are huge for me. I do these every day, and I will tell you that I used to be one of those people that was like, I don't want to take about this stuff. But whenever it helps you and you feel so much better, it's like a no-brainer, and I don't even care. I take all of this every day without even thinking. So Life9 probiotic, I have been taking that for well over a year. It's super, super important to have a really good probiotic. And that's another thing that I had never found one like the Young Living one that has really worked for me. My mom she's been big into health stuff and whatever, and she would have me try all these different ones. I'm like, I can't really tell a difference. This was huge for me. Allerzyme, which I'll talk a little bit more in detail in a little bit, but that I notice, especially if I'm gonna like eat a pizza or go to Mexican and I know I'm gonna eat some cheese dip or something, I can take that and cheat. And I swear to you, I don't have any issue. So I love that one. They were out of stock of that for a little bit, so I got Essential Zyme, and I've noticed that I really like that one too. So now I kind of, yeah, Jen, you do. Now I kind of use both, depending on, what I'm eating and what I'm got when I switch them up. Ninja Red, I could do a whole big long talk about Ninja Red and all the benefits of that, but that's another one that I take. Digize I take internally now only when I really feel like I have an upset stomach. I rarely need to use that much anymore. And sometimes I'll use it topically, like if I'm a little nauseous or something. Another thing that I use, it's not Young Living, I use the Nature's Way brand Slippery Elm. I can get you some more information if you have any questions on any of these, but I take 4 of those a day. And I take that in the morning on an empty stomach. And I've been doing that along with everything else. And I'll say too, I don't take the full dose of like the Allerzyme and the Essential Zyme and stuff. I take one of those a day, and that's been enough for me. But you can, if it's not enough for you, you can obviously take more. You have to kind of judge with your own body what works for you. So yeah, I was amazed. Like I said, it's been 2 whole years that I haven't had to take anything. So I don't believe I'll have to go back on it. And it's not something I have to like worry about seeing on TV later. So yeah, it's been a real lifesaver for me. So I just wanted to share that with you guys.
That is so awesome. And I'm happy you mentioned the slippery elm too, because there are a lot of things that aren't necessarily from Young Living that I could talk about, like activated charcoal is one, apple cider vinegar. But we're going to concentrate mostly on the products. I mean, because I use these products more than I use other ones, but that's a conversation for another time. So what can you do about your gut? The biggest thing is change your diet, reduce your alcohol consumption, reduce your consumption of processed foods, any inflammatory foods like sugar, dairy, fried foods, meats with antibiotics, which are pretty much all meats. Supplements and oils, obviously, that's like a huge one. Decrease your stress, which is as easy as it sounds. Increase your sleep, which if you have children, okay, and increase your physical activity. But the products that we're going to be talking about tonight are the ones that we all use and love and have great testimonies for. And Lauren is going to start us off with Ningxia.
Hi guys, I'm Lauren. So like Amber said, we can probably have a whole talk just on Ninja Red, so I'll try and keep this brief. It is an amazing like superfood drink. My son calls it berry juice, blended wolf berries with tons of other like amazing antioxidants. And I think the really cool thing I love about it is that it's all from foods. So it's so much more bioavailable and easy. Our body recognizes it. We can digest it because we know all the things that are in it. And it's all those vitamins and minerals that really aid in digestion. It helps strengthen that cell wall for that leaky gut, like Heather was talking about. And I mean, I eat a very healthy diet, but I feel like it's very key to our health overall, because like in Ninja Red, it has a breakdown that we can show you of all the different fruits and vegetables that are in there. But just to give you an example, everybody always thinks of blueberries as super antioxidant rich and really great for your body, but you'd have to eat 2,400 of them for the same amount of antioxidants that's in a 2-ounce shot of Ninja Red. So that's a lot. And I don't have the money to eat 2,400 blueberries or the time to do that. So for a busy mom lifestyle, it's so much easier to be able to do that and know that you're supporting your health overall, especially if you have kids that are really picky eaters, to be able to just give them that and know that they're getting a lot of the things that they need. And that, like I talked about, the trace minerals, zinc, iron, all those things. And again, really being able to get them from a natural source, which your body knows, versus any supplementation, which a lot of times, sometimes you're not able to digest that supplementation and your body really isn't able to use it at all. So real quick, I'll tell you a little testimony that we have about Ninja Red. And super long story short, we went to Spain like 2 years ago before the whole world shut down. And then we were there for 2 weeks, brought our supply of the packets of Ninja Red, and just enough to last us our trip. And we were traveling with another family. We all got sick. My son, who was 3 at the time, was sick for like half of the day. I remember he woke up after his nap and he was like good to go, and the whole rest of the household was still sick. So I was like, no. It was like pretty difficult actually to keep him entertained because everyone was still sick. And the next day I woke up and I was fine. We had a day where we laid low and that was it. And we were able to like go and explore the rest of the city. And my friends came home and were still sick, ended up that their whole family had strep throat, and it was this whole big thing. And the only difference was we ate all the same foods, did all the same things the whole time. The only difference was my son and I had packed our Ninja Red, and the day before we actually all got sick, he was like wanting to take more. And I'm like, no, we didn't pack enough to take that many today. So kind of getting nervous about it, but allowed him to listen to his body and do that. So I know we had talked a little bit about how there's so much of your immune system is in in your gut, and really being able to just support your gut and strengthen that lining is so important. And we really noticed that difference on that trip for sure.
Thank you. I love these testimonies, seriously. And I'm happy you mentioned something about not being able to absorb certain synthetic, nutrient or synthetic vitamins or whatever, because I was taking a lot of vitamins that I didn't realize were synthetic. And so my body wasn't able to digest them and absorb them like you, Lauren. I'm MTHFR positive as well. So because I am, my body does not digest folic acid. It has to be real folate. So that's why I like the Young Living supplements, because it's all real stuff in them. Okay, I'm gonna jump right into it with Life9 probiotic. If you're not on a probiotic, you need to be on one. They're not just for when you're prescribed an antibiotic, because if you're drinking milk or cheese or eating meat, you are getting antibiotics on the daily. And I love this Life9 because it's a high potent probiotic. It says on the website, supports healthy immune function, helps maintain optimal metabolism and intestinal function, and it has 17 billion live active cultures from 9 beneficial bacteria strains. And they list the bacteria strains. I dare you to find any other probiotic that lists all of their bacteria strains. That's important. And like I said, you need a probiotic. Sulfurzyme is a huge one in my house. It contains Ningxia wolfberry, MSM, which helps with inflammation. You guys, you need MSM if you've got some kind of inflammatory disease like rheumatoid arthritis. It helps with constipation, hemorrhoids, diverticulitis, and it has dietary sulfur, which sulfur helps your body metabolize food. Essential Zyme, I know Jen mentioned taking that. It's a multi-enzyme caplet for balancing digestive health. These enzymes break down food and assist in digestion. It also helps with pancreatic function, which is important for breaking down sugars, fats, and starches, which I mentioned earlier, we all eat way too much of. It also makes hormones that act as messengers that travel back and forth to the brain. Multi-greens, we take this a lot, especially because I grew up on canned vegetables, and I'm telling you, I ate canned vegetables until like a few years ago, and I was like, what am I doing? I did not realize. So anyways, multigreens is great because it has bee pollen, barley grass, choline, alfalfa, kelp, and essential oils that are FDA approved for ingestion, like rosemary, lemon, and lemongrass. Many of these nutrients and vitamins are no longer found in our diet in the appropriate quantities. And these antioxidants protect us from free radicals, they reduce inflammation, and they boost organ function. So definitely multigreens. One that is a little bit unexpected is CBD. CBD can help reduce cortisol, which is the stress hormone, which gives you the anxious poops. It can help prevent leaky gut as well. It also helps in reducing inflammation, and research is being done on CBD and decreasing the occurrence of ulcers. So love that research. Super B, this is for all my MTHFR positive people out there, which you might even be and not know it. And when you hear the symptoms, you're like, oh, or the signs, I mean. So for MTHFR people, we need vitamin B, and it needs to be methylated B12 with folate, no folic acid garbage. And I can link you on a video if you want more information on that. But it needs to be, you need to have B because of the nutrient absorbency. If we don't have this extra B, we cannot move the nutrients that we need to move. And then I know that Amber's going to talk about Allerzyme.
Okay, so yes, that's, as I said earlier, one of my absolute favorites, and Heather pretty much touched on it too. The fact that these are all infused with essential oils really helps you to be able to absorb them better than the things that you're going to buy off the shelf at the store. So I just really feel like the quality is amazing. So it's a vegetarian enzyme capsule blend of enzymes, complementary botanicals, ginger, peppermint, and other oils that support proper digestion, waste elimination, and nutrient utilization. It's formulated to combat allergies, which I did not mention earlier, but I have noticed a big difference in my allergies too since taking Allerzyme. gas, fermentation, fatigue, irritable bowel syndrome. It also contains a powerful combination of sugar and starch splitting enzymes, which I'm sure we all consume way more sugar than we probably should. So that's really helpful for that. And it also has small amounts of fat and protein digesting enzymes. It has this essential oils, tarragon, ginger, peppermint, juniper, fennel, lemongrass, anise, and patchouli. And it's got the directions to take. Like I said, it says 3 times a day. I only just take the one, and it's fine. And like I said, it is just amazing for so many things.
Thank you. Yes, we use that a lot. Like my husband will use it before he eats a lot of dairy, like you guys said, a pizza or something, or ice cream. I wanted to also, I know you already talked about Digize, but Digize is amazing. I used this all the time when I was pregnant. When I got toward the end, I had such bad acid reflux. It was Digize, activated charcoal, and alkaline for me, like every single day. So Digize is great because it has tarragon, ginger, peppermint, fennel, anise, which are all great for digestion. It contains antioxidants and it cleanses and soothes the digestive system. So you can ingest it in a caplet. You can put it in water. You can rub it right on your abdomen, whatever way works best for you. And then alkaline is the other one. I forgot what those things are called that you drop in the water and it fizzes. What is that? That helps you like digest? What is it called?
Are you talking about the Alka-Seltzer?
Yes, Alka-Seltzer. That's, I could not think of it. Alkaline is like more natural, less chemically Alka-Seltzer. It helps maintain pH in the stomach with mineral salts, lemon powder, and oils to soothe upset stomach. And very interestingly enough, my husband was having some really bad acid reflux. And when we were looking this up too, it always suggests lemon in your water. And I'm like, that's so weird because citrus you would think would make it worse. But lemon in your water is actually really good for you too. It helps, especially on an empty stomach first thing in the morning. Yeah, it helps with your pH, just sets you up for the day. So we use alkaline a lot in this house when we eat not great foods too. Okay, I think we covered everything that we wanted to cover. Does anybody have any questions or input? I'm trying to look through the chat right now just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh yeah, Jen mentioned that the probiotic, if your probiotic does not need to be refrigerated after you use it, it is garbage, okay? Because the bacteria need to be kept alive in the refrigerator. So that's a good point. Oh, when you open up your multigreens in his smoothie, that is so smart. I'm gonna start doing that with my girls. I'm happy because they like the taste of Ningxia Red. They love Ningxia. So I'm happy with that, but getting them to eat a lot of greens can be hard sometimes. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. So if you want a breakdown of any other thing that we mentioned, or if you want to talk to us personally, feel free to send us a message or a comment, whatever works best for you. And thanks for coming. This was great.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.